Okay, welcome everyone to the 18th AGS Weekly Dialogue. So in this series, we get to know better our members and their change-making initiatives in a question and answer format. And in the first 20 minutes, we'll have a chat with our guest and answer some questions. And in the next 20 minutes, we'll open the questions to the floor and let anyone present ask our guests any questions that they may have. So in these first two segments will be recorded for those who are not able to be here today. And the last segment will be a 20-minute chat with GM, where anyone here can ask Vincent any questions that they may have or raise ideas or feedback to him directly. And this segment will not be recorded. So now let's get started. Our guest for today is Dean, who is the co-founder of the Affirmative people. So together with her partner Juliana, Dean creates affirmative experiences that help empower people to experience their peak health and fitness within 90 days. So they also co-founded the Facilitators project, which runs empowerment programs for abused and neglected children and women in shelters. And so today, we're going to let Dean tell us more. So thank you, Dean, for agreeing to be our guest for today. And I have so many questions for you, but we can start with the basics. So tell us why you co-founded these initiatives with Juliana and what do you do here?
Thank you, Melody. Hi, Vincent. Well, why did we co-found this initiative? Mainly because I always feel that we are not teachers. We don't preach to people what to do, but rather we are facilitators, trying to really just to help to facilitate and get to help people see their blind spots. So that's the reason why we have this two initiative. So the affirmative people is the commercial aspect that helps to fund the facilitated project, which is purely voluntary basis. Yeah, and so both so for affirmative people, it's called affirmative people simply because we really believe that affirmation helps to take people forward. And so our coaching practice helps to fund facilitators project, which is what we use to is the pro bono aspect for the less privileged people that we serve in terms of personal development. Yeah,
I see. Okay, so I think I believe you have a very unique approach of facilitating personal growth. So you focus on like nutrition, stress management, like quality relationships and play and movement. So we just want to know more, like how did you develop this approach?
actually it's really stem from a personal journey. So when I was still a police officer, I had my fair share of health challenges, and but then when I go to the doctor always tell me it's part and parcel of aging. So since it's about aging, I went back to school to study about aging, and through all the various research papers that we go through and identify that some of the key aspects into improving our quality of life is really our nutrition, our stress management, our relationship, the exercise and all. But I noticed that all these things are done in a silo. Everybody is looking at one aspect and trying to work on one aspect of it. But our life is not in silo. So I eventually discovered that it's only when we piece all this together and look at it in totality as a holistic approach, then we can come on something sustainable, customized according to our individual lifestyles and needs, to be able to have effective change. So that's the reason why when it comes to about personal growth, is not just about one aspect, but we bring everything in together, and nutrition plays a huge part of it, because that's what it's like, a car, you do need your basic is we need to have the petrol on top of the engine oil and whatnot. So it's the same for us. In order for us to be able to power, we do need the basic nutrition, the basic building blocks before we can work on any other aspects of it. That's the reason why nutrition is such a huge portion of what I advocate.
So what you're doing is very all-rounded and very holistic, so not just one specific way and not the mainstream way of approaching this.
Yeah, I think at the moment what a lot of people are familiar with is it's very easy to just work on one aspect.
Yeah.
But to get them all together and piece them all together and look at it in totality so that you can strike a balance is the key to getting it to be sustainable And because each of us are different, we have different needs. Your needs and my needs are different. We have different lifestyles. So it's very hard to say, one size fits all. Just because this method works on me, it may not work on you because your lifestyles and your needs, your preferences are different. So we have to look at it in totality for it to be able to achieve your goals so that it's sustainable for you. It has to be something we can co-create together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so I understand you have like 2 different projects going on, right? So why is it important for such initiatives to exist, especially in Singapore?
If you look at it, right, for the longest time, for at least the last 10 years, we have been talking about the community's health, trying to work on community health, healthcare and all, but the statistics are not coming down. Things are still going up. So, which is the reason why I feel that it's important for us to work on our health, our personal growth, or rather the community's benefit as a whole in totality. It's not just about you and me, but us. How do we grow as a community? And so that includes people around us, includes the have not, the underprivileged, So that's the reason why we bring this in. And mainly for us, especially for Facilitators project, they have been, so the government has done a very, they have done a lot in terms of providing for education, providing for accommodation for abused and neglected children and women. But in terms of their emotional care, their mental, personal growth and all, these are all lacking. The soft skills are lacking. So that's the reason why we come in to facilitate, to guide them so that they can break themselves out of this vicious cycle. Because we noticed that when they grow up in certain environment, they are stuck in a cycle, they go up, perpetuate the whole system all over again. So how do we equip them with the skill sets for them to see themselves not as victims, but as survivors, and empower them for them to be able to break out of this vicious cycle and to be able to make a difference. So that's the main reason why we bring this two initiative.
So so I understand you're doing a lot to help the people around you. How do you think maybe fellow AGS members can collaborate with you to really just amplify your efforts?
I think first of all, what will help most importantly is to help to set the word out, create the awareness. Maybe getting AGS members to help to like and follow both our Facebook page. That will help. Yeah.
Promote it to the group chat later.
Yeah, just to create the awareness. Yeah. Like and follow so that you can increase the algorithm.
Okay. Yeah, I will help you send your Facebook links later.
Thank you so much.
As well. Yeah, after this chat.
Sure.
Yeah, so just now you also mentioned that you work in the Singapore Police Force, right? So I understand that you've worked there for more than 20 years. So what made you decide to leave and go into doing all these projects?
So briefly, just now I was sharing, I had my fair share of health challenges. Then, although to most people, I would be, I'm considered fitter than most people as a police officer. I had my challenges, which a lot of people didn't know. Like, for example, I had slip discs, I had swollen joints, so I couldn't take the staircase. I walk when I take the staircase, I walk like a crab, sideways. Yeah, and then I cannot sit on the floor. I need people to pull me out, so I had to sit on the chair, like those really frail people. And then I fractured my joints every year. I was diagnosed with inflamed arthritis. I had unexplained fainting spells. So my guys can be briefing me. And then on site, and then the next minute I'm on the ground. So there was literally one incident. They were briefing me at Marina Bay Sands, telling me we're preparing for year-end countdown. They were telling me where all the barricades are and stuff like that. Next minute, I saw 3 puzzled faces looking over me. I had collapsed.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that was like a deal breaker for me. Super embarrassing. Although I regained consciousness within a few seconds, right? We went to the hospital, we check. Couldn't find anything. A&E say next time you faint, come back again because we cannot find anything when you're awake. Then when I'm awake, they can't find anything. They say that you have already woken up, we cannot find anything. So whichever way is like no one knows what's going on. Eventually, when I went to see specialists and all, they came to a conclusion it must be part and parcel of aging. Yeah, I was barely in my 30s. So I have part and parcel of aging, barely in my 30s. And they say, oh, because you very active lifestyle, so premature. So premature aging, they tell me to slow down. I slowed down, didn't help. My health condition went further down. And as a police officer, you will have guessed if our fitness is not there, I literally was exempted from fitness tests. So Vincent will know, no need to go for IPPT. Yeah, but that means my career also pretty much came to a standstill. So I went. Since everybody say aging, right? I went to study gerontology. Went to study about aging studies. Then I realized that there's, like I was sharing earlier on, there's a portion about nutrition that is missing. So I went to study about nutrition, study about food science. Went overseas to study about food and nutrition. Eventually, I turned my own health. Now I can go and plant trees, I can do a lot more stuff. And started to, so when I realized that I can work on myself, and I started sharing, started coaching others to change their lifestyle, realized that, hey, this is something that if I can do it, other people can do it. So that's when I decided, okay, fine, forget about the force. Perhaps my calling is elsewhere. And that's when we started Affirmative People and Facilitators project.
I see. Yeah. So your time in the police force inspired you to do what you're doing now, somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah. And also in police force, things are very black and white. But as change makers, you all would realize that a lot of times things are gray, different shades of gray. It's not always black and white. So because before that, when I was in the force, I was volunteering with the World Park Hospice. So working with palliative care patients is a very humbling experience. Yeah, if you have never tried before, I encourage you to try it. Yeah, it's an eye-opener. So that's when I really realized that things are not black and white. Yeah, there are a lot of gray things, but in such an organization, if you try to change things from inside, you will be shattered by a lot of red tapes and all, and you will get a lot of frustrations. So if we really want to make a change, then the next best thing is to be outside the system and to try and influence from outside instead. So that's why I left.
I see. But was it a difficult thing for you to let go? Or like, was it difficult for you to leave?
Everybody who knew me thought I was mad.
Oh.
Yeah. So it wasn't, how should I say? It was a leap of faith because I left without a job. So that's why a lot of people thought I was mad. I had to survive on savings. Even up to today, I still get people asking me whether do I regret. And I shared with them that the only thing that I miss from the force, honestly, is just the paycheck. Yeah, everything else, I'm actually in a better place. And a lot of my peers, my ex-colleagues, they will say that, how they envy my courage, that I'm out of the system and I seem to be in a much better place. And every time I feel that, am I really doing the right thing? I'll go and meet up with my ex-colleague and then I'll be inspired again. Because I realize that, yeah, actually, I made the right choice. I'm better off moving on. Yeah.
Ask them to quit with you.
Well, I can't force them. They have to feel that they're ready. It's like coaching. No. It's like Chinese have a saying: you can bring the cow, the horse to the river, but you cannot force them to drink water. They will have to want to do it. So we can share our stories, our journey. At the end of the day, they have to make the call themselves.
Yeah. So I think you shared a lot about what you're doing now and how you want to create change in Singapore. So there's this question that I have for you is if there's one thing that you could change about Singapore in your lifetime, what would it be? Just one thing.
how we see community health and how we see our definition of care. So I recently learned this concept from this gentleman, Dr. Hakim Yang. For the longest time, we always talk about self-care. But he introduced the concept of mutual care to me. How when we achieve mutual care, we can actually, it's even much more powerful than self-care. And so if there's one thing that I can change is really to bring out this concept of mutual care and how it can help to change and transform our community's health. Yeah.
What is this mutual care thing that you mentioned?
So mutual care is essentially what it means is, if you're familiar with self-care, right, it's me first, right? Fill out my own cup. And then I have surplus that I give others. But the concept of mutual care is we are not cups to begin with. We are actually all part of a river where your waters are all the waters are all intertwined. So if people upstream they pollute the water, we are all going to get it. So in terms of, let's say, if you talk about emotions and health, your mood, how you feel, is going to affect me. So there's this term, I see you in me. So when we talk about mutual care, that's what I mean. How we care for, how I relate to you, how I care for you, your well-being, is going to come back, and it's like a mirror, because we all have mirror neurons. So whatever happens to you is going to happen to me too. I'm going to feel it too. So the best way for me to care for myself is to also care for you, care for the people around us, the community. Yeah, that's the brief concept of mutual care. And if we bring that to community health, if we can work on the health of the people around us, getting as a food service provider, if we, because we take into consideration mutual care, right? I care about your health and your well-being. I start to provide nourishing food for you instead of just looking at my own bottom line. Self-care, I look at my bottom line. Mutual care, I look at how I'm impacting you and how your well-being is going to impact me. Yeah, that's the concept that I want.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. But it's not very known, right?
It's not. It's my. So we were having a discussion yesterday, and then we were talking about mental health, emotional health, self-care, and that's when this concept came about. Then it start to make sense. Oh yes, mutual health. It's like a game changer. It just shift the whole perspective altogether. Suddenly it makes sense. Why? A lot of people will say, okay, let's take a break. Very stressful lifestyle. Then we take a break. We go on a holiday, and we feel so much better during the holiday. Then when we come back, we're back in the system again, and then everything is back to square one. And we're always trying to fill out our cup. Somehow the cup is never full. But now we realize that, hey, actually, we are not even cup to begin with. Of course, the cup will never be full because we are one whole river. And you cannot chop the river up. It's all part of us. So when he shared this term of mutual care and we explore the concept, then it just suddenly it makes sense on why is it that for the longest time we've been struggling to work on well-being, mental health, and all, emotional health, and somehow people are never really happy. People are never really satisfied because we forgot that there's this mirror neuron in each and every one of us, and what is going on to people around us actually affects us, and vice versa. Yeah. So yes, it was a mind-blowing concept for us, and that's something that I want to share.
Thanks for sharing that. So actually now I'll open the questions to the floor. So if anyone has a question to ask Dean, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask your question.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Hello, Dean. Yeah,
good to see you.
First part. Just saw the message. Yeah, good to see you. Long time no see.
Yeah.
I love your background.
Yeah, this one is at Dairy Farm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's go for a walk again soon.
Yes. Wow, so long ago. The last time we went for a walk.
2 years, I think. 2 years. Yeah. I've been going to the forest every week
Oh,
since
okay.
the last chance. Yeah.
Just
So
to
it's a chance.
connect with nature.
Yeah, it's part of the whole ecosystem. I realized that we are not just us, but we are part of the whole ecosystem in nature. So going back to the forest and the sea. So I was in the sea. No, I was in the sea this morning. This morning I was in the swimming pool. So yeah, but going to the sea and going to the forest helps us to connect with nature. And it's a reminder that we are all part of the ecosystem. How do we fit into it and how it affects us too?
Is there any like certain way where you like walk through the forest? Like anyone can go to the forest. Some people just walk, talk to their friends, some jog. But if we're talking about like in terms of mental health, how we can really feel connected, is there a certain approach that you do?
Well, usually what I do is I will just we just encourage them to be present, slow down. So instead of going on the road march, just clock the mileage. It doesn't matter how far you go, but being present at the moment. What do you see, smell? What do you explore? So the only time we use our phone is if you want to take a picture, or if you want to use Google Lens to find out about some insects, some plants. Other than that, we don't use the phone. So it's really being present and connecting with nature, connecting with people around you, getting to know whoever you're with. Yeah, that actually already helps. Yeah, it doesn't have to, it's just being present. Yeah, and see where nature brings you to. You'll be surprised. The same route, every time you go, you'll find something different.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, recently I've been I moved to nearby Chestnut Park. So I realized, when I really slow down and let myself consciously connect with the trees, like when they wave in the wind, I also feel like something in me is waving too. Then suddenly feel very much at peace. Kind of nature.
Yeah, in fact, if you allow yourself to, you can actually hear them talking to you. Yeah,
Wow,
you can try.
I have
try
hiding.
You can try hiding the tree. Yeah, just give yourself the time to just quieten down and just so some people say it's like getting lost, but we don't see it as getting lost when you're in the forest, but really it's a chance for you to rediscover. So when you're walking aimlessly, just following the flow and see where nature takes you to, that's when you get your questions answered. A lot of questions, a lot of thoughts that you have. It's a time between you and nature, you and the universe, and that's when you really get. It's very profound, but you have to experience it.
Yeah. Have to explain what's.
Yeah, I got to feel it.
You have a question.
Yeah, because Dean and Jules recently took over this space at the hotel, right? So maybe I was wondering, could you tell us about your dream for the space?
Okay, so the space is called a resilience center because we wanted to build resilience for the community and not just for peacetime. So usually people will wait until when there's a crisis, then they try and rush into it, right?
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do is for now day-to-day peacetime, you build on your resilience. So when a crisis comes along, it's like you do, those of us who are trained in military, tabletop exercise, right? You will have all your tools already. You pretty much know what to do. It's like going through a fire drill. Yeah, you're more prepared. And we took out this space because we wanted the whole experience to be very calming, very relaxing. The minute they enter the premise, the whole journey up to our space, the mood is already set there. So what we wanted to do is to use this space for, of course, we do have a retail front, and the things that we sell are all related to health and wellness. But the main thing is to allow people to have, for us to use this space to run workshops and programs and coaching practices and whatnot, for people to feel it's a safe sanctuary for people to be themselves, to discover themselves. Yeah. Yes, this is a safe space for whoever who needs it.
Like, could you like describe a bit? Because I understand that intellectually, but maybe like how to say, like if I were a person visiting the center, right, like in your ideal, maybe 5 years from now, what will I see? What will I smell? What will I touch? What will I do?
5 years from now, if I have my way, 5 years from now, we will have more than one resilience center.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it'll be a place where you can come in to have we will run workshops here, for group sessions, and of course, if you want, we have private rooms for one-on-ones, more in-depth exploratory work. Yeah, I have a private gym for the last time you came, the gym is not up yet. Yeah, so I have a private gym for people who needed that space to work on themselves in privacy with a therapist, or from the physical aspect. Of course, the food that's going to be served here will all be health nourishing. Not so you can eat with your eyes closed, peace of mind. No junk food.
No junk.
Yeah. And so basically anybody who has, like, for example, if they have a hard day, they have a lot of anxiety, they just need someone to speak to. When they come here, immediately they can feel the shift in energy. They can feel the themselves coming down, which is already what we are getting from our guests and our clients.
Nice.
When they come in, they say, "Oh, it feels different." Straight away, they can feel the themselves coming down. They can feel themselves. When they leave, they always feel a lot more relaxed. Yeah, because of the symbol, because of the energy that we have around here.
Yeah. Wow.
So we always tell people, if you're stressed, just come in. Be it, say the bull, talk to us, and then you go out feeling better.
Yeah. I wonder whether one of these strategies could be to create like a pop-up space, right? In like those maybe, because this space at HYC, every last Sunday of the month, they have a zero waste market. So any products or any services that are zero waste or more mindfulness in nature can come. I wonder whether if you could create a pop-up of your center and then use that as a way to, if you experience this in half an hour, why not come and visit our center where you can, do something like this, or spend half a day there and just like unwind, like it could even be like in the whole CBD area, very stressed, right? Like I need a place to just rest and relax. I come to this place as a hideout or something. Yeah.
I think there's something that we can explore. Creating a space for a hideout. That's something that I haven't thought about it. Yeah, maybe we can explore how that can be done. Yeah.
Like last time when I went for a conference in the US, or they had this thing called a lounge for highly sensitive people. Like they called it that. But basically, it's basically a lounge for the introverts, right? Who feel very tired from networking and don't want to really talk to anybody. So then they have a very nice room. Then their room is just like basically all the people who don't want to talk to anybody just go there and like rest and sleep, or just close your eyes. So I wonder whether like there could be a concept like that for your space, but also like you could do this kind of pop-up spaces at conferences that are happening now. So if you're feeling very tired from networking and meeting people, come in and take a break for a while. Then you got some of your like products or like simple programs. and say, hey, if you are like this kind of concept, right, we have a center at the hotel there. I don't know.
It's interesting. It sounds a bit like because like hotels now they have vacation package. So it's not vacation, vacation where you don't stay overnight. You just come at say 8, 9 a.m. and then you can go back at 8, 9 p.m. So 12 hours for you to use the hotel facilities or the hotel room. You can do your work, you can just chillax, and just go off. Yeah. So sounds like it's a little bit like that, but maybe not 12 hours. Because if it's just like we say half an hour or 1 hour respite nap, then it's a short-term kind of concept. That's interesting. It's something that maybe we can explore.
Oh, interesting. And some of the vacations are quite cheap. I'm just like looking at this.
Yeah, it's actually quite good value. We actually tried a few during the COVID, the last 2 years when we were locked down. Yeah.
12 bucks
use
an
the
hour.
facilities. 12 bucks an hour.
Yeah, there see some websites like 12 bucks an hour, 13 bucks an hour kind.
That is for hotels or for
Hotel.
for hotels? Which hotel is that?
Hotel Royal. I send you the link. Fairmont also. Fairmont $14 an hour. Sure, bro.
Excluding GST,
Maybe.
excluding GST, yeah.
It's crazy. Wow, that's damn cheap. I might actually consider. Anyway.
Yeah. But 1 hour no kick one, you'll probably end up taking more than that. At least 4 hours or 6 hours. So yeah, it's actually quite affordable. During the COVID season when the tourists are not in, the rooms were left empty, so a lot of hotels came out with this staycation package. Yeah. Now that the guests are coming in, I think not so much anymore. Yeah, but thank you for sharing, Vincent. I think I really like the idea of, I think we can explore how, talk to Bruce, how we can potentially allow people to have that respite space. Maybe we may need to reconfigure our space a little bit too.
Yeah, because I got one more idea. So sorry, Dean, there are a lot of ideas. But I sent this link to you. Palm Avenue. So that day, right, my friend and I, we went to this flotation. It's like have you heard of this before? You go and float in a pot.
POD.
POD.
POD pot, okay.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat. Like basically you go into this pot and then there's a lot of salt water, so you confirm will float. And then you just float there for 1 hour. And then the idea is like, apparently if you do this a lot of time, it's very relaxing as meditation, my benefits or what. Then I was thinking whether you could curate some of these more like interesting experiences, right? Like you design like a because if I want to do it, right, well, it's damn troublesome. I go to find all these places, I need to make sure that, and I realized that a lot of Singaporeans, especially the young people, right, they are so busy that actually really you ask them to rest, they don't know how to rest. They are just say, oh, I just don't do anything, I just like watch Netflix, and then that's but then you don't feel so much rested after it, right? So what if you curated a rest package, right, where it's evidence-based rest?
Actually, so we are. That's I saw your palm float. I'll take a look at that. You're right. We actually do that for because we are set in a hotel setting, right? Yeah. So we actually do run staycation package, where and our staycation package deal are better than Klook.
Better than what?
Better than Klook. The rates, our rates are even better than Klook.
Better than where, sorry?
Klook.
Oh, Klook.
Like Agoda, Klook, all this, yeah. So we have guests to come. They take our programs, 1 hour, 2 hour, depending on what they need. And then after that, we always talk to them about what are the things that they need. Whether do they want to go forest, do they want to go to the sea, do they or do they need some assessments from us on site, and then after that they can spend the rest of the session in the hotel room. So it's a staycation package where they get food is catered for, all 3 meals, and then they can use the mineral pool at the hotel. They can have they can either use the hotel gym or they can have a private one-on-one gym session with me.
Oh,
They can have a session with juice.
oh,
Yeah, so we're already doing that. So yeah, I will take a look at the flotation thing. So we do curate some of the activities that we feel that, hey, this one really helps with well-being. And we bring it in. That's why we bring people go to the sea to do stand-up paddling.
nice.
Yeah, sometimes we
how
do
much is it?
like that.
Sorry. Yeah.
How much is it? Yeah, for depends. So if it's for 2 day 1 night, it's about 500-600 inclusive of the room and all. If it's like a 3 day 2 night, it's about 2K around there. Yeah, plus minus. Yeah. So it's inclusive of room, inclusive of food. Yeah. So the prices may vary depending on the kind of activities that they want. Yeah. Those are the activities we work with external partners to provide the equipment and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe can sell. Yeah. That maybe can sell. We put together a package, send to the corporates or something.
Yeah. So that's something that we do. In fact, recently we had a corporate that we requested for a performance retreat. So we actually did one with so we had a 3 day 2 night. They had first day when they came, we dressed them up in all the motorsports costume. So they spent the whole day in their motorsports, F1 costume, doing the activities. And then we got in the simulator for them to play the simulator. So it's like being an arcade. It's moving, Yeah. And then the last day, the final day, we brought them out to the circuit for them to play go-kart as a team. Yeah, so that was a 3 day 2 night corporate bonding retreat that we did for them. So yeah. Can definitely, this is something that we are already doing because since we are based in a hotel, we can't work that out for them. So yeah, if you have corporates that want fun stuff for personal development bonding, yeah, we definitely can do something.
Okay. Do you have half-day packages? Like 4 hours?
We do have half-day packaging. Yeah. So the beauty about us is we can do bespoke. Although we have standard packages, but we always make a point to tweak according to individual organizations' needs. Yeah. So like recently I did for interestingly, police asked me to go back and give them a talk. So I tweaked my my session, my health talk to cater to speak the language of policemen. Yeah, so police officers speak, military speaks a kind of language, so we tweak it for them. So it makes sense to them. I thought they were all just drift away. Yeah. So yeah, if there's a request for 4 days, we can definitely see what their needs, what's their budget, and something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions, Vincent.
So your space, does it include like a cafe?
No, my space got no cafe, but because I'm based in the hotel, so food is very convenient. But what I do is, like, for example, when I cater, like when my guests come for staycation, right, besides having access to the food that the hotel provide, we also bring in food from my other partners that cater to food that are, for example, refined sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, that kind of stuff. So guests with dietary preference is being taken care of. So we bring in, we serve a lot more vegetables, fruits, vegetables, and whatnot for them on top of what the hotel serves. Yeah, hotel don't always serve the healthiest food.
Yeah.
So we did a fair bit mix of both. That's where we come in. We add the value, because as a health coach, I'm very anal over the kind of food that's being served. Yeah, well, I recognize that a lot of us still want that the comfort food or the junk food. Yeah, it's fine eating junk food because we grew up with it. A lot of times it's comfort food. So it's not so much as just what do we take away, but what else we add in. We cannot just take away, then if we don't add new stuff in, then there's going to be a void. Then everyone is going to go hungry. So it's not so much of, yes, you do need to take away some stuff, but the priority is always what are we adding it in. So for me, I put a lot of emphasis for us with to add in the good stuff and health nourishing food to make up for, so they have more choices. They can eat the health nourishing food, and then after that, they can still have the junk food just for the fun of it, just for that 10 minutes of pleasure. But at least there's enough health nourishing food to serve as a buffer to make up for the damage that's been caused by a lot of things that we are currently eating. So food, you don't have to worry. Around me, won't go hungry. Because I will never allow myself to go hungry.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Dean? Oh, but yeah, Dean, thanks for sharing so much. Like, it's very interesting to hear like all this new perspective of how we can take care of ourselves. Because yeah, I think I haven't really heard much about like nutrition and like the mutual care thing. Wow, that one really like kind of blew my mind also. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for like making time to answer all the questions and also just letting us get to know you better and as a person, and also like get to know your change making initiatives lah. Yeah, and then so now we have come to the end of the Q&A segment, and we hope that by listening to you, some of our audience members will want to reach out to you and explore like possible collaborations with you. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Melody, for giving me this chance today. It was very fun. It was good to connect with you guys at last. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.